Hello, wonderful people, again. This is going to be part 2 of my little building tips series. We are going to be focusing on a few roof styles today. I won't be going over that many because there's so many it would be impossible to cover all of them. But I will show 2 of them, and I might make a part 2 to this eventually. So we're going to start by I'm just using these small little wooden structures as an example. Obviously, you can use anything. I am going to give the first example, which is a very simple roof like this. So it's obviously not going to stay like this. We're going to add stairs. But it's a very simple style. It's commonly used. But it's pretty much just stairs going up. And I always like to put an upside down stair here before adding a slab on top. I'm just going to conjoin this to the other side. There's different ways you can make this certain roof as well. It doesn't have to be this way. I'm just giving an example of this way. Just going to connect these. And I like to add an extra row right on this edge, just to give it some more shape. So it'll look like that when it's finished on the other side. It's a very nice, simple style. I don't recommend using it for a whole house. But if you'd watched part 1, which I recommend you do if you have not, I spoke about having different types of roofs incorporated into different areas of your house. So this would be a nice roof to do on that sort of thing, sort of like how I did here. I used a very similar style to do this. So I don't it can be perfect if used everywhere in some cases, depending on the style you're building. I usually stick to more fantasy styles. But this would be good for like suburban houses or cottages and stuff like that. Well, newer cottages. A lot of older cottages will use different styles of roofs. Next, we're going to be focusing on one that is similar to this one that I did up here, actually. We are going to be doing one that goes up, but it's going to go up a lot more, and it's going to have a different block in the center. So I'm going to use spruce blocks as an example for this. And I'm going to keep the stairs in my inventory just in case I want to use them. So we're going to start by putting this here. And it's going to be a lot taller, so you can put multiple blocks up on top of multiple blocks. This is going to be great if you want a house with a nice point. And I just think it overall looks pretty nice. So I would continue it. The thing is, we're not just going to fill it in like I did in the first tutorial. We are going to use a different block to fill it in. And we are going to experiment a little bit with texturing. Of course, I have a whole separate video planned where we get specifically into texturing. But for now, I will show you a little bit. So I'm going to grab a few blocks that I think would look good together. So if I'm thinking, what blocks will go good together? I could get some birch wood, and sometimes sandstone goes well with it, but I'll experiment. Sometimes it's a little too light for the certain thing you're building. So I might just start. I'm going to use birch actually for this, like the planks. We're just going to fill this in. I did mess up a little bit here on the sides. Another thing I recommend doing is that, just to give it some more shape. Then we will continue And I'll just speed this up until I'm done. Alright, so now I've got this basic little birch foundation. Let me turn down my audio a little bit, it's a little loud. Moving on, I am actually going to switch out these logs for stripped birch wood, just so I can put them on these sort of surfaces. And when you're texturing, you just want to get blocks that look either similar or go nicely with the blocks you're using. So I usually go for similar, but some people will go with blocks that are completely different from the ones they're already using. And then you put them sort of randomly in places that look right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should look like that. And then I recreate it on the other side. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. Obviously, you can do whatever you want with your own house. This is just my tips. Minecraft is a sandbox game, after all. And I mentioned that I wanted to experiment with putting some sandstone into here. I think I'm going to use this one. See, sometimes it is too dark. It depends on the angle, because angles are really important when it comes to this. You could always get really creative and add fletching tables in here for funsies. But yeah, you can pretty much do anything that you think looks right. We're going to have a bunch of fletchers if I ever put villagers here. That's another important thing to know. If you plan on using item, like job occupation blocks, and you plan on having villagers in the world you're doing that in, I don't suggest doing that unless you're doing a villager super far away, because sometimes villagers will even take a job if it's like 100 blocks away. I've seen it before. Or just switching it out for something else, just because it can be a huge inconvenience and it's very annoying to deal with. Barrels and lecterns are frequently used in very unique builds. But that isn't the best when we're talking about villagers being around. So, here we have our second roof style. That is pretty much it for this video. Of course, this one is a bit short, but I will go more. I'll probably conjoin a few of my next ones together just to make a longer video. But for now, here is 2 roof styles. If you do want to experiment with more, I suggest looking them up. You could find different guides or ideas through YouTube, Google, Pinterest, whatever you're using. I mean, Minecraft is pretty dang popular, so you'll be able to find something. But good luck if you plan on building any of these roof styles. These are very simple, like I said before. Usually I'll put a bit more detail in here, like you will see in one of the builds I'm about to tour soon. But this is just a simple, like, I'm focused very heavily on beginner builders in these videos. So people who are just now learning how to build and want to improve their building without immediately jumping to the super crazy pro player sort of thing. So we're focused on very simple stuff now. And of course I have a whole segment video planned for details. So I may return to these builds and add such details in that video. But that is pretty much it. Have a great day and goodbye.